Hey people, as you can probably see, I'm not where I have been for the last two races. I'm there, row 6, 16th on the grid, and I was very unlucky really. Very wet track as it is here, not, well, probably not as wet actually. But yeah, MotoGP, I'm doing the qualifying and race, but so I'm not doing all the free practices. The qualifying in MotoGP is unlike anything else really. Like you have to do, unless you've qualified in the top 10 in the free practices, you have to qualify twice. So the top 10 go through automatically to second qualifying, and then the other 16 have to do a qualifying one. I think the top 2 of those guys go through to qualifying 2, and then those 12 battle it out for the top 4 races of the grid. Unfortunately, in the first qualifying with the first 16 people, I was ahead by a second, 9 minutes to go, and with 2 minutes to go I was ahead by 7/10, and with a minute to go I was up by 5/10. However, by the end of the race, there was no time to get out by then. Finished 6th, which is why I've started 16th, because obviously it's 10 plus the 6th. Pretty crazy really to say I went from 1st to 6th within a minute. My own fault. I didn't realise that the track had actually dried out. Like, you don't get told much while you're in the garage, and unfortunately I didn't know that the track had dried out and everybody else was speeding up. Quite considerably actually. Went to speeding up a little bit. The Droz trying to knock me off with that corner, and I've hit the grass. Lost a lot of speed there. But I did tell you that Argentina would be tougher. The wet's on, so that was a choice between hard and soft to be fair. Yeah, I told you it was going to be tougher. But I didn't think it would be this tough. I thought being, I don't know, top 10. I didn't think I would not qualify for the second qualifying. But we're into Pedro's slipstream here. Pull out of it. A bit of pace from the Ducati. It actually looks like something wrong with my visuals actually. Everything seems to be an edge on it. No, it's not just a shadow. Like, the wheel seems to have like an extra edge. It's like a ghosting kind of thing. Don't know why. Well, I'll try and sort it out in the editing, and if I can't, I'll try and sort it out for the next race because I haven't seen that before. Can't see that much on the actual rider, but on the edge of the wheel, especially when I went past Pedro's, I could see it on him. Up into 6th after 3 laps. Grading the bike in MotoGP is actually quite a bit faster. Like, you do have to upgrade the engine again, which you didn't have to do in Moto2. With the extra qualifying session, every time you complete a lap, or the first lap, you get a little point, a little grade point. So obviously you get 2 of them for the qualifying, then you get 1 for the race, so you have to get 3 a weekend rather than just 2. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on Iannone's helmet then, you can actually see quite a bit of ghosting around it. I don't know why that's occurred, but so I'll try and sort it out for you. Just sticking with these guys a lot better than I thought we would actually. thought with how poorly I did in Moto2, I thought I'd be just as bad in this one, to be fair. Although Ross, this seems to be my worst sector, especially this final corner. I don't know if it's going into heavy rain conditions because the screen has just changed. Coming up to Rossi in the third sector again, side by side over the hill. Just managed to go around the outside, but we hold it onto the apex and we hit the inside line and we're up to 4. I didn't realise there were another 3 people in front of us. I thought it was Rossi then Dove. Yeah, it's Dove. And it's Marquez and Lorenzo out front. I didn't realise those 2 were fighting. Back in, stepping out on me on that corner as per usual. One thing they don't have on this game, which I'd like to see, is like the weather conditions actually changing during the race. I know it's got the rain's got heavier, like it never dries out to the extent where you can actually go and change your tyres. I'll have to jump into the pits and jump on your second bike. So probably about a quarter of the way into the race now, with 6 laps and a quarter-ish gone. Just trying to stick with these front 3 guys. Lorenzo seems to be out front, I think. Marquez and Dove behind. And I've messed up that last corner really bad, which has made a massive difference to the exit speed, and these 3 guys have crawled away from me a little bit. The weather is getting like gradually worse. The track's getting wetter. Track's getting wetter from the water. Coming onto the fast straight, going underneath Dove here, Ducati versus Ducati. Tamak versus Factory. It looks like he might have a bit more speed than me going down the straight. Can get it quite late to the braking point with this rain, and I've taken 3rd place now in the 7th lap. Going over the curbs a bit dangerously there. And Dove could snap back straight back at me if I carry on sliding this back end out like I am. Only the 2 leaders in front of us now. We haven't got half a race to go yet. We've got a lot more than half a race. Which is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if that actually came out. In the last few seasons, like when I've been watching the standings, it's always been Marquez and the two Yamaha boys that have been leading the MotoGP, so it's not surprising to see Marquez out there with Lorenzo today. Quite surprised to see Rossi 5th. Did win this race in real life after it was a really nice race actually. Marquez went on the softer tyre than anybody else in the factory or in the top 10, should I say, something like that. Everybody else went on hard rear tyres. He put the soft ones on and he got off to a good lead. But as they wore out, the hard ones got into their groove and Rossi just reeled him in lap by lap, and was it lap and a bit to go. Marquez tried taking Rossi back over. And Rossi overtook Marquez on this corner. And as they snapped back over to the left, Marquez hit Rossi's rear tyre and just threw himself down the road. And he could have taken second place. 20 points in the championship. Almost a big high side there as let Dovi come back and try and take third place off me. Marquez's Honda squealing all over the place. It's a horrible sounding bike. This one sounds like quite throaty, whereas the I don't know if it sounds like that in real life. Obviously, it's not really being up close to one, but it sounds really squealy on this game. It's got a bit more like oomph in it. I don't know how the Yamaha sounds. The only reason I know why the Honda sounds like it is because you ride it in the tutorial. So up into second place now. Only Jorge in front of us. Down to the really late apex. The gear 2 as the back end starts going out on you. And Lorenzo's first for now, and Marquez has dropped miles back. A really nice clean race from us for a change. Only the one slip up was that when I almost high-sided myself. Coming down big long straight now, we've got to be close enough to Lorenzo to take him. Try to get into the slipstream but move far too far across. We'll take him in the braking zone round the outside. He's gone back up the inside and he's slid out. Shot up my inside there. I'm surprised that didn't take me with him with his back tyre in my front. Didn't really want to take the lead like that. I wanted to overtake him cleanly, but he's thrown himself out of this race now. Give him the room he needed as well. Oh, I don't want to be sliding off there. Or there. .15 laps to go. We have control of the Argentinian Grand Prix. It has taken us 10 laps to get through the field. Is that Marquez following us? It is, yeah. Lorenzo's held fourth from his teammate. Hopefully he can get back into second slash third. That's where he'll fight with Marquez. So here we are, guys, coming to the end of the race. Not much happened in the second half, and it's a good job really, because my audio stopped recording from my mic. So this is a late recording. The reason why it's taken so long for this video to come out is because we finally did a wheelie and did it right. The reason it just took so long is because it wouldn't export properly. So, and then after that, I've had to be working, and I had the time really. So I apologise for being. I think it's over a week now. Apologise for that. But as you can see, guys, 3 wins from the first 3 races. Doing pretty well. Can't complain. I thought this would be a tougher test, and for the first half of the race, it was. Down 16th to start off with, but we pulled it back. And, Jerez next, I believe. Which is another tough one, especially for me anyway. Really difficult corners on that. Anyway, guys, as you can see, pretty much ahead in all the championships available. I apologise for the little El Gato sign, I think if it's there. I'll see you in Jerez.